Bitcoin is still getting ready for a massive move, while a lot of Bitcoin liquidity is still getting piled up on both directions. And Bitcoin is already kind of breaking down outside of this ascending triangle, but in my opinion, this breakdown is just going to be a huge bear trap. What I think is going to be happening is at first, we are going to be seeing a small little pump towards the upside, but then create our crash towards the downside. So I am going to be explaining exactly why I do think so. So can we once again push up the likes back above the 80 likes? That will be absolutely amazing. And as always, let's first of all have a look into what's that imminent short term. And what we can be seeing over here is that we are of course trading in a weekend. And usually around during the course of the weekend, we do tend to consolidate at around our CME close price, which in this case is sitting above us. So it would be very likely that today we are going to be seeing a small little bounce back towards our CME close price. Well, at least that is going to be very likely, but if we are not going to be retracing back towards that CME close price, we are probably going to be creating a CME gap, and just like right over here, right after creating that CME gap, we tend to fill our CME gap right after. So yeah, in my opinion, a small little bounce towards the upside is going to be very, very likely, and that is already going to be invalidating our idea of getting this breakdown outside of our ascending triangle. And I do think it is going to be way better to actually have a look into what's this symmetrical triangle, because yes, it is clearly evident that we are consolidating, waiting until that next move will be getting initiated. Also, at the same time, during our consolidation, we are also creating this inverse head and shoulders pattern, which is a typical bullish biased pattern, and we are also creating a lot of liquidity in both directions. So yes, this Bitcoin liquidity is definitely confirming the fact that we are going to be awaiting a massive breakout. Also, at the same time, we do know that Bitcoin tends to move towards that majority of the liquidity. And because we are right now forming a lot of Bitcoin liquidity in both directions, what I think is going to be very likely going to be happening for Bitcoin is that we are going to be taking out the liquidity in one direction, but then actually after taking out that liquidity, move towards the other direction. So yeah, in that scenario, what would actually be very likely is that we are first going to be seeing a breakout towards the upside, but after creating that breakout towards the upside, consolidate for a little while, and then actually move towards the downside to also take out that downside liquidity. In my opinion, this is going to be the most probable scenario. Now, I will only be trading this whenever I can be seeing that the Bitcoin funding rates are going to be spiking highly positive. Whenever this happens, well, majority of the Bitcoin traders are getting too euphoric during this breakout towards the upside, and then I'm going to be getting interested in shorting the Bitcoin price. But if that does not happen, in my opinion, it is going to be way too risky to actually be shorting the Bitcoin price. But if you are going to be interested in trading Bitcoin, you can claim $220 by only depositing $100 on DEEPCOIN. So make sure to go ahead towards that link in the description, because this offer, in my opinion, is absolutely insane. This exchange, DEEPCOIN, is very similar to Bybit, but it has no KYC and no restrictions, and in my opinion, the deposit bonus is way better than on Bybit. Also, my own personal trade I will be taking next, well, I will be sharing it in my free VIP group I will be launching. So make sure to go ahead towards that first link in the description and still register yourself in this group. But we will just have to wait and see what will be happening with Bitcoin. Where are we going to be getting our breakout? In which direction? I still do think that in the larger time frame, we are going to be seeing this correction. I do think it is going to be inevitable, but in the short term, Bitcoin is actually looking quite bullish. So that is why in the short term, I do still think that we can be seeing a little bit of a pump in the short term. But inevitably, for that larger time frame, it is still looking quite bearish. I do still think that we are going to be getting our correction before the Bitcoin halving. And guys, if we are going to be getting this correction, in my opinion, it is going to be a gift, because I'm going to be buying up so many cheap Bitcoin whenever we are going to be getting this correction. So guys, do be aware of that. Right now is the time to be preparing yourself, and let's see if we are going to be seeing some more volatility coming next week. But with that being said, once again, a little bit of a shorter update video today because it is still weekend and not a lot at all is happening for Bitcoin still. So make sure to be following me on Twitter to stay up to date about every single market development. And guys, I'll see you in another update video tomorrow morning.